Let's move on and talk about enlightened sexuality and relationships. This is like, I want you to absorb all this, but this is definitely the one that I want you to really connect to. So, the first stage is more when we are in that kind of primal place. It's more about me. It's more egoic. It's where there'll be jealousy, possessiveness. There'll be a victim, a victimizer. It might be kind of like the macho man who's kind of like the Jerry Springer maybe show. But there's just a lot of chaos going on. We as conscious beings could slip into that also, even if we are in the third stage. If someone were to leave us, all of a sudden we're feeling abandoned, we're feeling like a child, all of a sudden we start saying and doing crazy things. So it's not like we're ever removed from this, nor do we want to, because also in the primal is where your passion is. It's where your, I guess you say, your creativity is. It's where your excitement is. Like, for example, men who move into, say, the second stage, this is a generalization, while they're kind of like sensitive and all that, a lot of women complain like, he's really sensitive, but he got no balls. He doesn't have that passion, that fire, whereas the bad boy did. But the bad boy just thought about, himself with his balls. He was his balls. So it's like, the goal here is to fluctuate in these different stages. Second stage is like a little bit more development, and that is where we are trying to get along. It's where a man, learns more about his femininity. He gets into art, he plays music, he smokes pot, I don't know. He's just not your typical type A person where it's just all about him and being controlling and so forth. He realizes that he wants to compromise, and he maybe doesn't necessarily need a woman. He has other feminine sources. He gets massages once a week. He goes to yoga on Fridays, 8 a.m. Wait a minute, talking about myself. Okay. But he's just, he's just like, it's not like some men absolutely have no feminine, like, I guess you say, sources as far as what they connect to. The only time they have that is when they're with a woman or having sex with a woman. There's other ways to receive that feminine presence. Where with women in this phase, it might be a woman who's more career-driven, career-oriented. It's a woman who has embodied that, and it's not like where she's desperate. I need to be taken care of. I need to be protected and so forth. She's independent. So she has to consciously want to be with a man. In other words, it's not where she's going to be in first stage. If I don't find a man at 35 years old, it's all over with. She's like, fuck it. I'm 35 and independent. I can take care of myself. I don't need a man. So it's like two people like this. In this phase, a lot of times what happens is that there's not that sexual polarity because they both have this kind of balanced masculine and feminine energy. So what ends up happening in those types of relationships is where it feels like more a roommate. People become complacent. Not a whole lot is going on. Conversations like this. I feel this way when you do that, the partner. So what I'm hearing, honey, when I do this is what you feel. Yes, Bob, and I would prefer that you do this. Well, Mary, I will work on that. And it's like that. And yet, while they do that, they're still not growing. Because she still has the insecurities that she's pushing down that's in the first stage. But what they're doing is they're basically appeasing each other. Third stage is like, oh, hell no. I love you, and I'm not going to allow you to do that anymore. You're more than that. It's a relationship where you realize you come together to grow, to move beyond the first stage, the second stage, and to connect to love itself. It's where you might trust your partner more than you trust yourself. And those are the type of relationships where there's always something new to learn. There's a rediscovery of your lover. There's something exciting. And it might hurt. It's where your partner might tell you something. It might be something like this. Whether or not you're okay with it or not. You can be in a second stage, just don't do this. But it is boiling inside, you're not growing. It could be your partner walking to like coffee bean and a woman talks to him for a moment. And she flirts with him for a moment. And he's like, what is that? And for a moment, it makes him feel a little bit confident, like he still has it. And he might be sharing past with you in conversation. Yeah, this girl, I thought girls were not into me and whatever. And he shares that with his woman. And she can either crumble. She might even go, so what was that like? And he might say, well, I don't know, it was kind of exciting, but really didn't do anything. But either way, it's not like we have to share everything that happens throughout our day. It's just that some people have experiences we hold back. There's experiences we have where we might be attracted to someone and we don't say anything. There's times where we're no longer, and that happens a lot, attracted to that person because they're doing something and a relationship starts just moving apart. But you get along, you don't fight, and you stay together for 20, 30 years. You understand? So would you want a relationship that's real, that's passionate, and there's growth, and there's excitement, and there's risks? Or a relationship where it's stagnant? I hear people brag about, we've been married for 20 years, we never had a fight. I'm thinking, how fucking boring. What are you doing there? One person didn't belong there. I'm not saying that we should fight. What I'm saying is that we don't come together. There's no such thing as two people come together where it's like, it's not going to be like the Brady Bunch. No one walks through the door every day that damn happy. Do you understand? Think about even that, I don't know why I'm going back there, but just even that model, 1950s model. If people really knew the chaos between Ricky Ricardo and Lucy, but what way it's portrayed on TV and just say the Brady Bunch, we as Americans have tried to live up to this idea. While, women are popping pills and men are going off and cheating on their wives. It was just trying to hold up this idea. But we are sexual beings. There's much more to us, and we come forth to be so much more than these ideas, these boxes. And so in the first stage and second stage, we do crazy little things to just get by. The third stage is connecting to just your calling, your path, knowing that you have to, there's something much more here for you to learn. And I'll give you one example. I was with someone on and off for 3 years. And this person I was with on and off. And when I say that, I don't know what that really means. But I wouldn't say we were officially boyfriend, girlfriend because we didn't fit in that category. But I really didn't have any interest to be with anyone else. Every time I saw her, we were just excited. It was as if we were dating for the first time again. Every time. It wasn't like people thought we just started dating a month ago, 2 months ago. Because we were honest. And the reason why I was on and off, I'll be honest with you, is because we were only able to take each other in small doses. And that was a relationship I grew the most in. That was a relationship, there was so much passion. That was a relationship I feel so grateful for. And in that relationship, I also didn't feel loss. It was a relationship where I didn't feel like, oh my God, if it were to end, I'm going to crumble. There was no connection to it has to be forever or those ideas. It was like, oh my God, there's so much more about myself I didn't know. There's so much more about women I didn't know. There's so much more about you I didn't know. And it wasn't like it was chaotic. It was just, there was some intensity. But it was a relationship where you just felt that passion. You can look at that person, and you've had those experiences before where you see that person in a room, it's like you're making love with your eyes. We had that. There was just that really soulful connection. And no, I didn't marry this person. And no, I'm not going off thinking, she wasn't the one. Oh, hell yeah, she was the one. But it wasn't the one, if I were to compare it to what our culture, what paradigms that we're stuck in.
If you're being offered some free tools that could get you unstuck, would you be interested? If so, visit raydoctor.com and receive your free transformational exercises. Imagine starting each day feeling deeper love, a clearer mind, and being able to say to yourself, I really feel good. My clients love these and so will you. Get them now for free at raydoctor.com.